Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at the last colossal quest of the Tama series of colossal quests, Naohi. And then here, gimmicks are warps and damage walls, although we can get away without characters with null damage wall. It's much more important to have the null warp. And then there are the anti-bounce guys, but there's a kind of a new gimmick in this quest where the lower your speed is, the higher your attack will be. So with our bounce characters, we could actually hit the anti-bounce guys, lower our speed, and then do more damage that way. And then the way that you can see how much your attack is being raised is if you look at the level 1, 2, or 3 that appears on the kind of the upper right hand of the screen. And then yeah, as we watch, as the character speed goes down, we can see that number going up. And then before this quest, before anybody had played this quest, people were wondering like how difficult it was going to be to manage your speed. Would you need to hit like speed down walls or maybe use power types or something? But it's actually not that difficult. You can just kind of play the quest as normal actually, and then just kind of count on your last hit being the most powerful, so it's not that difficult. And then to talk about the team that I'm using, first is a drop monster, and that's Tama, Pierce with the null damage wall, null warp. And then he also has Slayers, which work in this quest, so that's really nice. They'll work against the zombies, and then also the boss in here, so he's a really good choice as a drop monster. You can also use Drazina, who I like very much. She's a Pierce with a null warp, and then a blast bump combo, and the weak point Slayer, so she can do good damage on the boss. I kind of feel like though that Pierce characters, maybe they would be more useful as like specialists to take down the anti-bounce guys, since they have like homing shots, which can do a lot of damage to you. So yeah, maybe I do prefer Tama rather than Drazina. Next I'm using Lokia from the Bleach collaboration. She is a bounce with null warp and then a weak point Slayer, so she can also do good damage on the boss. She also has Recovery M. That's very helpful in this quest since there's a lot of damage coming at us. Third is Kiss Kill Leela. She has both the null damage wall, null warp, and then her strike shot, she can heal your guys, and then also get a 3x multiplier on her attack, both of which are very powerful here. And then finally is Diamond, who might be one of the best characters here for this quest. He's got both of the null gimmicks, and then he has dark resistance as well, so that can help you with the big damage coming out at you. And then he's got the strike shot, which reveals the weak points, so that can help you do damage on the boss as well. But as we can see, there are there's lots of revival in this mission, so we kind of need to be taking down guys like every other turn, or even every turn, as we're trying to do damage to the boss. I find though that even with like bump combos, however, and then like hitting the boss even off of the weak point, you can still do pretty good damage to her. So yeah, the quest is not super difficult, I would say. Here, the wizards and then the little dragons that we saw in the previous stages, they do not have very high HP. I think they're mostly one hit. Alright, and then there, if we do a perfect left and right or up and down angle, we'll eventually have the speed so low that we can do a lot of damage. So if you're lined up perfectly with a weak point, then that's a good chance to do some damage. And then this level here, this might be the most difficult, depending on how many bounce characters you're using. I feel like maybe 2 bounce, 2 pierce would be a good balance for this quest. Alright, here, let's use Lokia's Strike Shot. It's a speed and power up, and then the last character that she is closest to will get an additional, like, Ice Blade. So thankfully here on the boss, I got that last hit on her. That's pretty good damage. Oh, and then there is some sleep status coming at us, so if we want to use the Spirit Crest to give us immunity to sleep, that can help us out. And then I would say on this stage with the bounce characters, just go straight for the boss. Try to pinch in between the drone and the boss, or a Puni and the boss, to do some damage there, and then maybe with your Pierce characters take down the anti-bounce guys. Alright, here we have lots of wizards. They will shoot out damage walls. If we have a lot of characters with no damage wall, or if we have enough HP that we don't need to worry about it, then we don't really need to worry about the wizards too much. And then there, on the right side, it's almost impossible to get in there with bounce characters. So that's where Pierce characters can come in handy, and then they can access that weak point, which appears over there. Oh, and then Lokia, she also has the bump combo, the attack up area, and that can help you do more damage on whomever within that area. She's pretty good for this quest. But again, she's pretty similar to Ayanami Rei, another light bounce with the null warp. Ayanami Rei has the regular recovery rather than recovery M, but she does have the barrier on herself, so that can prevent some damage to you. And then she also has a strike shot which gives your other characters barrier, so she's a bit more defensive. Lokia is more offensive, I would say. This stage here, not too difficult. All of the little guys are just one hit, so we'll take them down as often as we can, and then get some damage in on the boss. Here we'll slowly work our way up. Hopefully our speed is low enough that we can do some damage on the boss. I've also found that there are lots of irregular bounds on this quest, however, so that's another reason to want to use Pierce characters here. And then there are lots of warps coming out every mission, and so characters with a super no warp will get a really big boost. I think Kamui, he has that as well, and yeah, with all of the warps on screen, he'll get like a 50% additional attack value, which is pretty insane. That's like having a Slayer on everything. Alright, this stage I feel is pretty similar to the third pre-boss stage. With bounce characters, I would say maybe just try to go for a pinch shot in between the boss and then either the anti-bounce guy or the zombie. And then with Pierce characters, we can try to take down some anti-bounce guys in order to save ourselves some damage. Alright, but here with Lokia, let's go for a pinch shot. Okay, so we got it there in between the zombie and the boss. Lots of damage there, so yeah, we don't need to worry about taking care of little guys too much with bounce characters, I would say. I wouldn't really recommend, though, going through this quest with all bounce characters, however. Okay, last stage. This is probably the most difficult stage of the quest. There are anti-bounce guys in weird places. There are shields around the boss, and then there's a ducky over there. So with a Tama, let's try to get rid of some of these anti-bounce guys. His speed is a little slow though for a Pierce type. I think it's like 330 or something. Here, let's try to get rid of Ducky, and then a anti-bounce guy, that's fine. Hopefully they don't get revived this turn. But yeah, as we can see, bounce characters kind of have a hard time moving around in this stage. But I do believe it's possible to pinch in between the boss and then the anti-bounce guy that is above her. So that could be worth going for with bounce characters. Alright, we'll use a Diamond Strike Shot to get those weak points out. That will help Tama in particular. Alright, let's use his Strike Shot. That also has a bit of a healing to it. Speed and power up plus some healing. So that can help us out here with this quest. Alright, pretty good damage there with the hits in the weak point. And then with Lokia here, let's use the Strike Shot again. We'll see if get that final hit in on the boss. Alright, no, but still good damage. Okay, 2 more turns until the boss's ultimate attack. I think the ultimate attack, though, is just a Rampage Laser, however, so there is a chance that you could survive it. Which is another reason why this quest is maybe not as difficult as some of the other Colossals that we've seen. Okay, and that was my first clear of Naohi. Naohi as a character is not super necessary at the moment. I think she's a bounce with the no warp, no block, which is nice, but I can't really think of any high-level quests where that's super necessary, except for like Izanami Zero or something, but that's super old. I'm not going to be going for the max luck of her for now, but the trend that we've been seeing lately is that, you know, the high-level quests are going to be good max lucks for the next series of high-level quests. So if you wanted to stay current on the game, then you might want to make the max luck of her. And then finally, let's look at one more run of Naohi, and then here I'm going to bring Ryuko from Kill la Kill. And then here, you know, she's off element. The light characters, they get the multipliers to their stats. But I was wondering if the Slayer that Ryuko has, which is the Monster Slayer and the Demon Slayer, would be enough. It turned out it was enough, so she's perfectly usable in this quest as well. And then Strike Shot is really nice because, you know, it does lots of damage all in one. And then the way that the Strike Shot works, you're kind of guaranteed to get that final hit. So that can get you through some of the more difficult stages, like the second to last boss stage with all of the anti-bounce guys, and then it'll get you some damage to carry over into the next stage, so she's pretty good in here too. Okay, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.